you doing?
Good to see you. Great job.
Thanks for coming.
Of course.
No victory cigars tonight, huh?
Oof. Well, I thought that was a pretty good, hard-fought game against a team that's an up-and-coming team. They played St. John's really tough. They knocked off Georgia Tech at home the other night, beat Harvard, and we're coming here as a very confident ball club. And it was just nice to see our team make a nice run to kind of get a 1-point lead at the half. And then I thought our guys did a good job in a couple different spurts in the second half to open up a lead. And then I would kind of call that a hang-on win tonight, one that we just kind of fought till the end, finally made a couple free throws and put a good Fordham team away.
Was your free throw shooting overall concerning?
Well, I hadn't really looked at it much until after this game, so we'll take a peek at it, and definitely we'll work on it in practice. And we have time now with no class to get in here and shoot some free throws, and then also practice in the afternoon. So that could be something to work on, because obviously we're going to be in a lot of tight games, and it's nice if you can put teams away by making free throws. Can
you talk about the job that Terrell Vincent did, both on defense against Gaston and then offensively afterward?
TV's done a very good job. He usually is taking on the other team's best player, at least their best front court player, the majority of our games since even into last year, and he's done a pretty good job. And it was nice to see him play physical, play tough, and he really opened up the game with those 2 threes on that kind of ball screen and pop play.
Does Chaz have you holding your breath sometimes? I mean, how would you describe it from a coaching point of view?
Yeah, I guess holding your breath is a nice way to put it. I think he's electric and really plays the game the way it should be played, with his speed and quickness and toughness. And I've kind of learned to live with some of his mistakes and some of his, I guess you could call them crazy plays, because he's playing so hard, he's competing, and he's perfect for the style of play I'm trying to push on these guys. Listen, when I walk around and on campus or in the community, people love talking about Chaz Williams and love coming to watch him play. So if he's playing that way and he's bringing fans in and people are getting excited, he can play the way he's playing all day long.
How important was his offensive rebound?
It was pretty big. I mean, I think that sealed the game for us, obviously. And I think he was getting that rebound after missing. He was determined to go in there and get that one.
Was that just a case that nobody boxed him out, or did you get past the guy, or do you have a great...
I didn't have a good view of it, but I'm going to say that it's his athleticism. He was above the rim.
Yeah. I mean, you guys didn't make all the plays. It seemed like you made several of the biggest big moment plays. Is that a sign of maturity? I
think so. To have Jesse come up with that steal was obviously the play of the game, in my opinion. I think they cut it to, it was 4 or 3 or 5 or 4. And have him get that and one and make that play gave us a little cushion. He's maturing. I mean, his attitude's been great. He's working hard in practice. And we're starting to get a lot of guys that are coming in the gym early, shooting extra, and really becoming a team, which is a nice thing to see as a head coach.
I'm good.
Just go back to that, watching them knock off Georgia Tech and Harvard, I'm sure you anticipated a tough game, but did that kind of get something clicking when you saw them do that?
Maybe I'm a little nervous about how good our league is. I mean, everywhere you're watching, guys in our league are knocking off top 25 teams. They had the 3rd team in the country, so it makes you realize that every game's important. Every game's a big game. If they can knock off Georgia Tech and a Harvard team that we saw in the Bahamas, they get a lot of respect, because that was a very good Harvard team when we watched them play firsthand. But it's good. It's great for the league. I mean, it's nice when those teams are chalking up wins that help the league.
Are you comfortable with Caddy out? Are you comfortable with the smaller lineup? Are you happy the way that those guys played together when they?
I don't think comfortable is a good word, because not really, but it was out of necessity. I usually like to have one bigger guy in there to kind of move around Sean, and then Caddy was that second guy. So we tried a couple different things. I even played a little bit of zone in the first half, and then I'll get more comfortable out of. There's not a lot of options, so yeah, I'm going to have to get comfortable pretty quickly.
How do you feel they played in the zone?
I thought they played great in the zone for not working on it a ton and not really being a zone coach. I think they did a good job. They have a pretty good feel in there, and we just needed a rebound out of it. Cool. Thank you.
Chaz, just talk about that do-over, getting your own rebound and icing the game with 4 free throws.
I felt like I almost gave the game away. I missed the first 2, and excuse me, I have hiccups. But Yeah, I felt like I almost blew the game missing the first two, so I wanted to make it best of my abilities to get the rebound in the second miss. And then once I got it, my teammates just told me they had faith in me and a lot of confidence to make it.
Jesse, is that an adrenaline moment when you're deciding whether or not to attack a pass like that, the one you stole?
Yeah, it definitely is an adrenaline moment. It gets you pumped up, get the team going. A play like that can make a difference in the game. So I think that was a good job.
Is that a tough thing to decide whether or not to decide whether or not to go for it? Because if you miss it, it's kind of all or nothing.
Yeah, usually it is, but I seen the pass was last days pass, so I just made the jump and still that ball. So that's what happened.
Chaz, on that last rebound, were you not boxed out, or you just beat the guy, get around the guy?
Honestly, I don't know. I just wanted to get that ball. It don't matter if the freight train was in my way. I'd try to run it over to get the ball.
Terrell, you guys in this game, you didn't make all of it. It seemed like your team made the big plays every time you see it. Was that kind of a sign of maturity that you guys kind of know when to seize the moment?
Yeah, we've been in a situation before in the past, and kind of last year we was on the other end of the tantrum versus them. We was trying to catch back up, so we knew what to do when they made that little push.
Terrell, are you more proud of your offensive performance in this game, or what you did slowing Chris Gaston down?
Proud of my overall performance.
Is that kind of the game that you hope to have, both offensively and defensively?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you started off kind of cold shooting-wise. Is it especially rewarding to, first of all, make big plays at the end? You got a couple of key baskets. That kind of a sign that you're able to kind of stick with it through a tough time.
Yes, definitely. It's just just not quitting attitude. Just keep playing. Don't think about it. Just move on to the next play and just keep playing in the game. So that's what I try to do.
Chaz, you've generally been a good free throw shooter both this season and over your career. Had a little struggle lately. Is this kind of just a little bit, pardon the pun, a hiccup in your?
I would blame it on the hiccups at this point, but it's just it's just me just getting in the gym, working on other things in my game instead of just worrying about making free throws also, because like you said, I did have somewhat of a good free throw percentage, and I could say I personally took away from shooting free throws in practice and stuff like that. I'm just pretty much blaming on myself, and I just look to get back in the gym and work on my free throws. Excuse me.
For any of you guys, was Putney's dunk as impressive as you've seen as on a non-breakaway?
That was a tough dunk.
Is that like a momentum change? Because you guys were losing when he made the dunk, and he wanted to 4 points out of it, and then you got a couple. Do you guys sense that was a key point in the game?
Yeah, and we got tech. They got called the tech too. So.
Yeah.
That was a huge part of the game. Every time we practice, whenever he'll lay it up, everybody on the staff would yell at him like 6'10", 6'11", why are you laying that up? And it was good to finally see him goddamn dunk that ball today against opposing players.
I know you're struggling there, but is this kind of like a barometer of what league play is going to be like the rest of right to March at this point?
Pretty much, with league play, you can't come in any game, just thinking it's an easy one. Every game is going to be a good game. Every game is going to be a task at hand. So, we just got to come ready for whatever is dealt with.
Good job, thanks.